Hey folks, this is Noble Rambler, and welcome to the humble beginnings of the Grand Export Overland Rail Gold Exchange, or George as we like to call it. This is episode 2, so if you're starting here, if you just saw that I posted a video and wanted to see what it was about, this is actually a series between 3 different channels. So NightGhost49 is got episode 1 over there, so head back there and take a look at it first, then come back over here. After this one, go over to Vaypah Gaming's channel and see episode 3. So the 3 of us are going to put this town together. Kind of a little experiment we're going to try. The idea of this started probably well over a month ago. Actually, probably earlier than that, if I think about it. Vaypah got a hold of me and said, we need to collaborate on something. Problem is, we live on both sides of the pond, so to say. He's about 7 time zones away from me, so it's really difficult for us to line up a time when we can record together. It's just not practical. So I came up with the idea of, if we could just move a save file back and forth and each contribute our own parts, well, that might work out well. In fact, I thought of that clear back when I was recording Ramblington. I got toward the end there, like episode 90-something, and was trying to decorate that town because I've been watching Vaypah decorate his and thought, there's a whole another aspect to Colonial Charter that I haven't gotten into. I'd like to include it, but I'm just not that creative, not like he is. It was more of a job to decorate it rather than the fun that he has. And I was thinking back then, boy, if I could just get him my save file and say, have fun with it, he might do a great job with that. That's kind of where it all came in. But the day after Vaypah got a hold of me, NightGhost got a hold of me and said, what, we need to collaborate on something. I thought, the 3 of us need to get together and do something. So that's where this idea kind of hatched. All 3 of us have Banished as kind of the flagship of our channels, and it's a great game. So the problem is that we've got to all have the exact same version of Colonial Charter on our computer and all the exact same mods, and it may be even the same load order. I'm not sure. These save files get a little finicky. So I got a hold of G.E.O.R.G.E asking if there is a way to create a version of Colonial Charter just for us. See, the issue, if I go back into, well, I guess you'd call it my current series of Noble Landing. It's been a long time since I started that series, if you remember way back then, because I'm doing some renovating right now. But I had originally planned to start that series in Colonial Charter 1.6 or 1.61, and so I loaded up the mod for 1.61, but I was still kind of wanting to finish off Ramblington in 1.6, and the maps will not talk to each other from one version to the next. There were too many changes at 1.61. So I came up with the grand scheme of renaming the 1.61 file. Stick a 161 at the end so that I could then choose the old mod when I needed to and go back to the new mod when I needed to. Well, it turns out that mods don't like to be renamed. It kind of breaks them. So I ended up thinking I was in 1.61. I was really in 1.6, and that was a kind of a big mess there at the beginning. But I learned a lesson. You can't just rename a file. So we can't take a version of Colonial Charter and make a new name for the 3 of us and that one set aside so that Vaypah can continue playing all of the updated versions that G.E.O.R.G.E sends them to kind of, test for bugs and test for, what the audience thinks of the different additions to 1.7 that's coming out. So, long story short, I needed a game created just for us with the new name built into it. That was the challenge. So, approached G.E.O.R.G.E with the idea from Colonial Charter, and he thought that was a great idea and started working on it. Well, a little over a week later, he didn't just send us a new version of 1.7, he sent us the MegaMod. So Vaypah was going to need a few other mods added in, so he was going to compile something with 1.7 and a few mods so that the load order was good and it would work for all of us. But he'd always had this dream of putting together a mod that had all of the major Banished mods out there all in one. And I'm content with just playing Banished vanilla version. I don't really use mods that much. Colonial Charter is just an excellent mod. By the way, it all, you know, encompasses everything of Banished, and so it's like Banished 2.0. But you know, Crawler was wanting to get all of the mods under one umbrella, so to say, just to kind of put everything together for the ultimate Banished experience. So we started contacting other modders and got some, you know, permissions and tried to work out a system so we can put it all together again, and then sent us the list of what's in the MegaMod. You know, I was expecting 2 or 3 mods. There's, well, the current version, there's I think 66 mods in this thing. It's huge. My jaw just dropped. So, yeah, 9 different modders, I think, are in this one right now. This is going to change. This is version 2, or, you know, 0.02 at the moment. It's in alpha, and working out bugs, working out, you know, any other modders that want to join into this, other mods that are going to come under this umbrella, and just be the ultimate Banished experience. Most of these mods had their own toolbar, which was getting kind of awkward and confusing when you threw them all together. So you went through and using Colonial Charter as kind of the architecture, organized everything under all of those buttons that we're familiar with, so that all the foresters can be together, all the tailors can be together, and so on. So that made it far better. It then color-coded everything by modder, so that you can, as you can see in the chart here, that everything will be, in the buttons down below, will be coded so you know whose mods they are. Except for some of the smaller ones are still lumped together as kind of an other at this point. But again, all this can change in time. This is not something that's been released yet. I don't think it can be released until Colonial Charter 1.7 gets finished. So my understanding is that's probably the window of when it will come out, but I'm not sure. Oh, another thing, he worked to maintain the compatibility between the different mods, so that the outputs, for example, of the tailors would all be consistent with each other, and so on. So everything's blended together well. It's, you know, it went through and just made sure that there was nothing that was conflicting, and so far I haven't seen any problems. It's working really well. So basically, this series is going to tap the skills of the 3 of us. You know, Night Ghost is the entertainer, and he thrives in chaos at 10 speed. And his various character voices are hilarious to sit back and listen to. And, you know, of course, he can't pass up the opportunity to accept a horde of grungy, sneezing, and sniveling nomads, so that always adds quite the chaos into it. I like to teach and organize and keep things efficient. I play at a slower speed and get down to street level of the game and kind of enjoy the experience and the characters. So I rarely ever run it at 10 speed. I'm usually down there at ground level and or flying the Rambler helicopter around, looking everything over. Of course, Vaypah is amazing at his ability to decorate things and look at a blank canvas and see what it's going to look like afterwards. So what's going to be interesting here is 3 kind of conflicting game styles, or game playing styles, all merging together. Like, I'm going to take a look at this map here in a little bit and figure out what on earth Night Ghost did to me. And I'll go through and change quite a bit of it, put things where they really should. You know, he tends to react. That's what I've noticed. So we need a tailor. Okay, right there. Pop it in. Whereas I tend to play, let's see here. This is probably where we're going to grow to for a city area. This is our starter zone. We've got the mountains here, so this is probably more of the industrial area. So where would the agriculture area most likely be? Is it here? Is it here? Rather than just plop it down. So I'll go through this episode and probably find a better place for the crops and move them over and those sort of things. Then poor Vaypah, he's going to come in and say, what did the both of them do to me? No, this isn't going to work at all. And he'll delete this and move it over, and you know, I'm going to put in a dock fishery here. He's probably going to come back and say, this is a port. Fishing goes down over here. So it's going to be entertaining to go from episode to episode and see how this all merges together. So with that as introduction, let's take a look at this map. I haven't had a chance to see Night Ghost's first episode, so I really don't know what is happening. I know that Martha is barking orders, and poor little Norman is just surviving. He's just existing, trying to make himself relevant. And the three of us are like we are the Grand Export Overland Rail Gold Exchange. So kind of a partnership of a company that Martha is funding in some manner. So since she's funding it, she's gonna lay down the law and say what she wants done with her monies. So I know we're heading for gold as soon as possible. She's hungry for gold, and there's a good chance that the railroad is going to come through this town at some point. So we're getting this prepared for that. So it's going to be a lot of entertainment coming up. That's why I enjoy so much watching Night Ghost episodes. I spend most of my time laughing. It's just he's got the YouTubers tend to fit into two categories for me. Either you're a great entertainer or you're a great teacher. It's hard to find someone that's both. You tend to gravitate toward one side or the other. And Night Ghost is definitely the entertainer. So I can only imagine what I'm going to find when I get a chance to sit back and watch that first episode. So I'm shooting this one blind. Really don't know what happened prior to me. Let's get the game going. No. What is that? 10 speed? No. I'm going to drop down to 2 so I can just see what's happening here. So let's see. Now a lot of let me pop in some of the buttons real quick. Okay, I'm sure you got to see a lot of this already in Night Ghost's video, but let's throw out an example here of like the foresters. So we got a circle around it saying there's more inside here, and inside here are Kid 1293's items here. We've got discrepancy here. I believe that's purple. So we'll try to go through during this series, use as many of these as possible so you get a chance to see all of them. But I noticed these guys right here and thought that was really interesting. I've never seen these before. I went searching for them. I think they are workshop. Yeah, they're this one. So that would be, let's see, workshop. Looking down at my list here. Kind of greenish, but I'm not seeing the word workshop under. It must be there somewhere. I've got a long list here. It's kind of hard to track all of them. Anyway, these buildings here. Okay, so they're kind of like the workshop in the dock system, the dock workshop. I see, and I like the ability to have a land version of it. That's pretty good. Okay, so that gives us a real quick fix for tools and for coats or for clothing. So that'll keep that going. Perfect. We've got stockpile here. Stockpile is full, which Night Ghost stockpiles are always maxed out. Of course, his production is quite higher than I'm used to. If you watch my series, you know that I'm used to just traveling on fumes. A couple of laborers, a couple of builders, 10 logs, and a handful of stone, and I can work magic. But we did raise up a couple of lakes from the original Seed 38, just to give us a little more building space in here. And that's fine, because we've got the ability now to make it look good. That is roads. These right here, the new grassy roads. You can build marsh road. Now it still acts as a road, it's not ghost, so you're not going to be able to build over the top of it, but I can put a section in here that's going to be marsh. So whatever the final layout of buildings is in here, when we're done, we'll be able to fill all the extra gaps with this marsh road, and it'll just flow right into the existing seed map and look just fine. So really it's a matter of coming up with what the final building layout's going to be in here, where the roads are going to be, and then we'll be able to fill in the rest of it and make it look right. Over here in the mountains, this doesn't look that bad. It could be kind of a rocky, craggy area and fit right in with the mining operation and whatnot. So let's look at this long term. We definitely have a starter area. This is going to be industrial. I'm not sure. Wow, we got a lot of mountain here. We'll have to carve a path into here and get even more mines in this area. Yeah, but I see Night Ghost has already got a double road going, and of course it ends in an apiary. So we're going to have to turn that road over and send it through our forest node to probably head up into this area, jog over and blend into whatever is going to happen up here eventually. And we need that double road, kind of the main road of the town, to get over into this area somehow. So I think it'd be wise at this point. Let me check my food. Food is okay. I like to do a lot of talking and explaining what I'm doing, and in the process, I tend to forget that there's life happening around me. I've got to make sure that it's all working. That's why I run at a slower speed, so I have the luxury to sit and talk and not worry about. Do they sneak over and do that? I didn't see them do it. So you can see it's going to blend right into the original map when it's all done. But anyway, I want to get a road shot across here so that other buildings will automatically start laying out to what the final road system is going to look like. So let's get that done, and it'll give me a chance to get this bridge going over here. So let's see here. Let's just start with a dirt road, and the tricky part is lining it up through here. We know it's going to be a double road. All right, so that's what we're up against so far. But that looks like a good route for that road. So let's take that to there. And that gives me the ability to do some repairs in here. We have a leveling problem in there somewhere. So now this guy right here, I've been using this one. And so when you eventually do get access to this mod, well, I'm sure you can grab this mod right now out there in the forums. Does it have a name? Terraform tool. At least this lowest setting right here, it has left little red dead tiles of doom in my maps. So be cautious with this one. Use it don't use it when you're going to immediately drop a building over the top of it. It just might kill a cell unless there's a way to undo it. So I have not had the best of success here. I need to practice with this more. So I'm going to go with this guy, and let's see if we can not destroy this map. We had a problem with right there, so let's bring that up. This had a problem, and I don't know if this did. Let me get up a little higher. Let's try this again. Road. The right one? Yeah. Can I do that? I can. Did I jump up there? I did jump up there. Let's go for here. So will it let me do that? It will. So let's take it this direction. Let's erase this one while we still can, while it's free. Okay. So we're having a problem in these spaces. Let's level these out. I've never had any problems with this particular terraforming tool. This is called the Flatten Power tool. So this one, if I remember right, has always done me well. So those, we delete them. And notice this is, I believe, part of Colonial Charter 1.7, the new symbol for the, letting you know that something's about to be destroyed or what have you. I think it also comes up when you do a, let's see, you do a clearing. We'll clear trees. Yeah, right there. So it's got a broom, like an old corn broom on it. We're going to sweep this away. I kind of like that. That does a good job of conveying what it's for. Do that, and no, cancel that one. Cancel. There you go. So while I'm doing this, what are these guys doing? Any jobs set up for them to work on? There really isn't. Okay. I'm thinking of farming and, well, let's farm in here. Let's do that. Where are we? We're in autumn. How quickly can we get some new farms set up? I'm thinking we want more of the town buildings in here. A school and a church and building supplies and some of the basic needs more toward where the citizens live. And let's get the farming off into the distance a little bit. So, and eventually I'd kind of like to get into more of the mode of a farm and a house and a little barn and a windmill and another farm, and kind of spread it out and decorate it a little more realistically than the commercial type of mass farming that Banished usually gets into. So not sure if we're going to be able to accomplish that, but I think that's one of my goals for long term on this map. But right now we just need to maintain food supply, and we're doing a pretty good job of that. I'm going to come back to this road in just a moment, but let's give them some jobs to do. I see Night Ghost has already got us up to year 4. There's probably like a 20 or 30 minute video. My Noble Landing series is at about episode 20, and I'm at about year 30. So, and I record for almost an hour, so you can see what speed 2 compared to speed 10 is like, you know, as far as how fast things get done. So I can take a lot of time talk and explain things, and if I keep my speed down, I don't you know, lose sight of what's happening around me too often. But let's grab a dock fishery real quick. That's almost a guaranteed food source. Oh, we got more themes over here. New medieval castle and medieval canal. So they're under the themes now by Red Ketchup. So themes, docks, and we've got our kind of our industry segment here, and dock fishery. This thing is amazing because it's got, you know, 360 degrees to work with. That's not the right button. I think that's lined up, but let's run a road out there first. So let's send this guy out there. What road is he using? Looks like it's the dirt road. Okay, let's send this guy out toward the dock right there. We'll stop there. We'll dock at that point. That's right, we've got the new dock bridge here. Night Ghost's game Dougsville on the Waterworld map, that's what it's called. You know, Waterworld, in case you haven't been over there, the whole map is water. But in reality, this trading route is in the middle of it anyway. It's just a whole bunch of lakes pasted over the top of it to form one huge lake. And so any of you who are actually playing with a Waterworld map on your own right now, be aware that that trade route is underneath that huge lake. And if you accidentally build something across it without knowing, as you can't see it, it can break the trade route. Suddenly the traders won't work anymore. So, what was I saying that got me to that? Oh, the dock bridge allows you to dock across something like that, and the traders will treat it as a bridge with which they can go under, instead of an obstacle like I believe the docks become. So either a dock or a building or something happen to land right, you know, within so many spaces of that trade route where the game code could no longer make the calculation anymore. Dock bridge will let you get across there safely. So there's another edition that's going to be coming out, I believe, in Colonial Charter 1.7. But anyway, enough of my yakking. Let's get over to themes and docks and these guys, and let's. I like the stairs that go up and down, so I like to leave a space between my roads and my docks and do that. Now, right now, our two builders are already getting the orders to go and build these things. It's funny how they make their choice. They tend to build the one that's furthest out first, and they get stuck out there. So I've always gotten into the habit of, though they're already doing a pretty good... Are they stuck? Guys! Alright, pause the game. That's something else. I tend to get in the habit of pausing the game and laying them all out first before they get the order to go and do it. It kind of solves the problem. Let me get the stair in there first, because apparently they can't jump down. They're afraid of heights, and they just can't make that leap right there, that leap of faith. So, docks and there and stairs. Let's zoom in here and take a look. There it is. That's a neat looking staircase. I like the way the snow automatically covers every top surface when it's wintertime. That there, and let's prioritize. Let's see here. That's that guy, priority. Let's say, guys, build a staircase. Okay. Too bad I can't grab this guy and I'm thinking RimWorld. Stop him and make him come up with a new command. They're all going to get locked out here, aren't they? Oh, man. Oh, someone else, please. Oh, no. Okay. Are you going to save the day? You're going to save the day, aren't you? Oh, no. Okay, pause. Guys. All right. I need to... How do we salvage this? Kill this one. Will you go back? Will you make it back? Ah! We're alive! We made it! Alright. Okay, so let's get this dock fishery built. Themes and docks and this guy. Back where I was a few minutes ago before an interesting development. Let's go one more. Oh, we're paused, aren't we? Okay. So, yeah, let's go one more. We're kind of clipping the edge right there. So, docks are right there. Yeah, we'll go two more. Get us a little bit more into this curve right here. Then, let's see, there and there. Actually, if you go all the way out, it's a lesson I learned, then you can see the circle for some of these. When you get in the water, things disappear really fast. So get all the way out and you can see it. And you can see that with the red down there where the existing docks are going to build. So there's our first chance. And yep, does a good job of merging with that curve in the shoreline. That goes there. Alright, you guys build that. We've got 4 laborers, 2 builders. Food has dropped, so this is going to give us a boost. An educated worker working the dock fishery, which I cannot find anymore. There you are. Stick that up there. Generally brings in 800 to 1,000 fish all by himself, assuming that food storage and his living quarters are somewhere nearby. So we may pop a little house over here, and storage is pretty good, and actually that's not too far away. I think I'll just go with that for now. Again, our supplies are outstanding, so I don't have to worry too much about conserving things at the moment. Okay, when I've noticed that when the colonists get stuck on a bridge, they tend to lose their house. Don't know why that is. I guess they left and the game recalculated who the couples are and where people live because there's suddenly a vacancy. So yeah, let's go ahead and pop a house in real quick. What have we got house-wise? Got this little guy here. Oh, that's a small barn. You are... Oh, there's no housing out here. Okay, so that's actually a viable place to put one there, because this could be the house for the fishermen. So let's put a house out here. I like the log cabins out in the woods. It just makes sense. So something like that should work. We'll do that. Let's see here. So that's going to happen. Let's just keep that available so we can see it. This is building, that's building. We only have 2 builders. Crop fields, let's get those laid out. That'll give the laborers something to do. Then I can go back to working on long-term plans. So fields, let's see, food. What's new in here? New food gatherers. Okay. Workplace for gatherers of rose hips and oats. That's interesting. And then let's see, new food gatherers. I have that in my list. Probably has a different name to it. Okay, let's go on to this one. Tropical greenhouse. I'll have to get into that someday. I think I've seen that run, but I've never actually built one myself. Anyway, fields. Crop fields. How do we want to do this? I'm thinking of shooting up here. Somewhere over here, turning sideways with a double road, and then going up the center of this. So... is there room to do that now? Kind of. Let's do that now real quick so I can lay out where the crops are going to land. So this guy, there you go. Bring that over, drag that out to somewhere, and probably a double at that point. Okay. So with that, we've got kind of a starting point for our, well, I think this would be, at least this area right here for now, a good agriculture area. Leave the forest up here for now. This is a great shot in the arm. This dense forester right here. I'm not sure where he's at or who made this mod, but I think it takes out all of the foods that the gatherer would pick up, and the stone and the iron, and it makes every square available for trees. So basically you get a green shag carpet out of it. So this is, deep, deep in the dark forest where the trees are just growing all up against each other. Or a commercial tree lot where they're purposely spaced every 10 feet apart, every 5 feet apart. So that one will probably come out later, but it's here right now for a shot in the arm for logs for us. Let's get somebody working this one. That takes away a laborer, but we just added another one in. Great. So that's going to happen. We got a house going in for our 2 that are still homeless. And if they don't pair up as a couple, we may have to do one more. We may have 2 singles sitting out there. But we've got a road that's going to go in there. We're late winter. We're probably not going to make this year for the crops, but that'll be fine. So, because I talk too much. Food, crops, and I have always found that if you use the laborer pickup option, that, let's see, where do I want to start this? Let's go out a little bit. Yeah, somewhere in there. A 10 by 15 works really good. In that 150 squares total, so whether you're doing like a 12 by 13 or however that lays out, if the farmer has nothing to interrupt him and is able to just harvest, he can harvest a much bigger crop if the laborers are doing the picking up. Normally 11 by 11 is a great size for Banished. The farmer can do his thing, walk over, drop it off, go back, pick up, drop it off, and you can make all these trips and still get an 11 by 11 done before winter hits. But if he doesn't have to make that trip over to storage to drop it off, or in this case he'll probably go there, but we'll set up our own, then he can just keep harvesting. He'll just stop to go home once in a while to get a meal and come back, and you keep harvesting. So he can cover another third of the space. So as long as there's laborers to pick it up. And what I've always found is that once the farmers, of course, do their harvest, they become a laborer for the wintertime, so they'll assist in picking it up. So even if they're picking up their own crops, that's fine. They're a built-in laborer to take care of the crops being picked up. And that way they got to spend the entire harvest season picking up rather than doing the traveling. Then they can do it in the wintertime. So that's the way I do it. It tends to be the most efficient. It tends to give you the most food per single colonist. So these 2 here, that there, are just huge. And the gatherer. Gatherer has always been very efficient. But this system, we tested it back in Ramlington, and this system actually produced more food per person. By the time you get this quantity of food coming out, you've got to have 2 or 3 gatherers to do the same job. So that's why I stick to the 10 by 50 or 10 by 15s. Then depending on the season, just take this one level deeper. Some crops harvest in 2 months. Other crops harvest in 3. So a crop that harvests in 2 months and the temperatures are all pretty good, you can take that out to more like a 10 by 17 and still get the job done, because they start harvesting a little bit earlier, during the late summer instead of early autumn. So they can even get more work done, get down into here before it's all done. So when you get down to the numbers, you can get quite a bit out of one field with one worker if you lay it out just right. And that's my job in this series. Make it work so that Night Ghost can just go crazy and has all the building materials he needs to feed that craziness and to survive the nomads that'll be coming in. Got to get the food supply coming in. So these guys are going to work on this. Let's get actually 4 fields going. So we've got a little buffer for future. So back to, am I still selected? Yeah, right there. So we ended, see if I can find the reds. Red, there's the corner. I like to leave a space, a road, and a space. It spreads things out a little bit and makes things look just a little bit more realistic. Of course, I'm doing this blind. Hopefully it actually lines up that way. Green, space, 1, 2, 3, and crop field. That didn't line up. Oh, if I could just see it. Alright, zoom in this way. What did I miss? 1, 2, 3. I missed this one. Okay. Better to find it now than later. Alright. So that's going to give us a whole bunch more resources in our full stockpile. Aha. Okay, so quick little stockpile. Is that another stockpile? Alright, we got that one, but let's put in one more. Another thing that I've learned, a little tip for you, is instead of large stockpiles, place smaller ones. I'd rather have 4 smaller ones together than one humongous one. You've got the flexibility then to wipe out 1/4 of your stockpile in one click, instead of having to get rid of everything in order to clear that area. If you only needed to move one little part of it, you've got the flexibility to do that. So multiple little stockpiles is a better way to do it. So one more crop field, then we can move on to what... In fact, let's prioritize that so we can get these available faster to drop these things into, so that by next season we'll have 2 fields of each of these crops going. We've got room here to put a school and a church in, and I was hoping to not take this episode too long, but you know, to stick to true Noble Rambler fashion, we can't do a 20-minute episode. Don't know what those are. I haven't done that since I was playing Kingdom. Because Kingdom takes about 20 minutes to go through a cycle, so it just has a natural stopping point. Everything else, you just go till it feels right. So, crop, field. Alright, red, space, road, space, field. Oh, missed it again. Green, 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 crop. Alright, let's see if that works. 10 by 15. There you are. Alright, do we like that? Oh, if we could only see. Yeah, wintertime has its benefits. I think it's right there, and that lines up. Okay, that's good. We looking good in here? Yeah, oh, there we go. That looks pretty good right there. Yeah. Alright, that gives our laborers something to do. Our builders, what are they up to? They built this. We still have one person needs a home. Alright, let's get a house over by the dock. In fact, let's go ahead and play with the dock pieces a little bit. We are going to be needing storage soon, so let's take care of that. This guy, nope, this one. And storage, let's go into the docks. So themes, docks, and let's do the large storage, because I know what we're heading into. Can I not? There we go, let's see that. Large storage, right there. And let's get 19 and 28. Let's put 2 houses up. We're going to house our existing ones and get another family going. So, housing, let's stick with the dock at this point. We'll go with the larger one, the dock home. And, let's dock home, but in another direction. Like so. Am I up against them? Yeah. And the circle is there. We'll go right there. And we'll throw a dock across the front of that. So hard to see the dock when the description is right over the top of it. I wish there was a way to bump that up a little bit. And then let's put one more house the other direction. There you are. I like to have them over the water. They'll build on land, but they look better. They look like, you know, there's a reason for them when they're over the water. And I suspect that dock is not going to be enough. So let's pop him out with the idea. Actually, let's just do it now. This is going to grow over and tap over here. So let's put the staircase in right there. He follows this line, goes right there. Alright, we'll let that go. And that gives the builder something to do, gives the laborer something to do. And late spring, let's go ahead and, we're not going to harvest this thing entirely, but let's go ahead and get this going. Beetroot and rye. Where is my old chart? There it is, my messy desk. Beetroot, just to give you an idea. This chart doesn't have beetroots. Nope, just got beets. So that must be something that's new in 1.7? Or toward the end of 1.6? Okay, because I just have a 1.6 chart, and there were additions in between 1.61, 6.2, and who knows where it went after that. So don't know the timing on that one. Rye, we do know. Rye is a 2-month crop. So let's put rye in here for the chance that he may still harvest, because it'll grow much faster. So put another farmer in there. We're at 5. Why are we at 5? Because we have 2 in each of these. We don't need 2 in each of these. These are too small. So let's take you down to 1, and we'll take you down to 1 and do that. Okay. And pick up, and pick up, and pick up. Alright, that'll give the laborers something to do. So we have 5 of them at the moment. Alright, so 1, 2, 3 farmers, and 1, 2, 3 farmers employed. Alright. 1 is enough to do this, and that's, I want to say smaller. It may be comparable. Either way, 1 will handle it, especially since housing and storage is so close. So we're good there. So they're building these guys in early summer. That's out of commission. We can't. They wouldn't plant if I asked them to. It's not available. So that's done. Everybody is still busy building things, and we have the 2 houses and that going in. This is done. Don't have any kids yet. So with that, let's continue our road and get the bridge going, and then maybe put some footprints in of school and whatnot. So road, did it work? It worked. Fill these in, fill that in, that in. All right, so we've got a destination for some time in the future. Now, let me tell you the story about this bridge. I don't recall the name of the viewer, one of my subscribers that came up with the idea, so I'll just put the name up on the screen here, but I'm going to give him credit for this. Back in, I want to say Ramblington at first, and then Noble Landing, I was saying out loud and didn't realize that G.E.O.R.G.E was actually watching my videos. That's actually quite a compliment. Appreciate that. But I was saying, these double roads, which I hadn't actually used until Ramblington. I'd always played vanilla Banish in a single road, and I was happy as could be. But I saw Night Ghost using the double roads, and I thought, that does look good for a main road with the little roads branching off from it. So I like the double road as a center of town sort of thing. But it was so awkward bringing it back to 1 to shoot across a single bridge. And boy, I would love to have a double bridge. So G.E.O.R.G.E wrote to me one day and says, I've been working on that idea for you. I didn't realize he'd even been watching. And he said he came across a kind of a dead end on it, because Banish likes to work within a single tile. It bases everything on a single tile. So no matter what you did for a double bridge, you could build the model, but it would be stuck off to one side. It would not center. It wouldn't center on the gap between 2 tiles. It had to deal with a single tile. And so kind of at a dead end. And the idea came up to build the bridge in 2 halves, a right half and a left half. That way each would be centered on the single tile. And that worked great. That was the solution. Except it turns out that when you build a bridge, unfortunately I can't show you one, a blueprint. It doesn't show, it's just a square. But if you imagine, we'll say, this guy. If you remember what a bridge looks like in Banish, you've got a ramp that goes up one side, then you got the bridge, then you got a ramp that goes down the other side. The way Banish operates when it builds the bridge is it takes a model of an end and builds it. Then it takes a model of the middle and it creates the middle. Then it grabs the end piece that it used before and it flips a mirror image and sticks it at the end. So when you've got the left half with the rail over here, the railing, or the fencing, I guess you'd call it, it flips it over and it becomes in the middle of the road on this side. So another dead end. So the idea came up, let's just try our best to make the end symmetrical. So take the railings off. So G.E.O.R.G.E came up with the idea of coming up with a ghost piece for the railings, so we can put them in afterwards, and we still get the ability to create a double bridge, or in this case, as wide as we want. We gotta have a middle piece here that will just keep expanding as wide as we want to go. But it needs to build on an even space. You can't throw one across right here. You'll have one ending there, another ending there, another ending there, and it'll look really odd. So you've got to make sure that your starting points are even. So I'm not sure if I have an even starting point here. It looks like it jogs over one space. So I want to delicately edit that. So I'm going to, I'm pretty sure that's it right there. Take that out to there. I'm going to take it back one, make sure there isn't a dip behind it. With the marsh, it's really hard to see the dips. It jumps up and down all over the place. I'm going to just lock these guys in as a certainty that they're level 2. So let's do that and do that. Alright, so let's grab road, bridge, and this one right here, the stone bridge split. What I found is you need to orient yourself from the west side looking into the middle. At that point, left is left and right is right for this thing. So the left split, I'm going to grab from right there, bring it across, and then the right split. Well, it's not showing me any red, but we're going to assume it was correct and bring it across. Alright, middle one will make it 3 wide and more. So you don't want to build one of each, you'll get a 3 wide bridge. And also learn not to put the road all the way up against it before you start building the bridge. It makes it so the bridge doesn't have a footprint to grab from. I had lots of problems with that, so I always build my roads or leave a space or two, then I come back in and fill in the space. But let's set these aside to remember them. Alright, so that did line up correctly. That's the... I built 2 lefts, didn't I? According to this, I did. That's the right. Okay, let's eliminate that one right now. See, when you build at a slower speed, you got a lot more flexibility and grace. It's so much more forgiving. There's a clover in there. I've never seen that. Send laborers to gather plants. Okay, I haven't played with that one. Is that different from collect wild foods? Interesting. I'll have to see what that's all about. I just noticed that now for the first time. Back to bridge and right. I could have swore I grabbed the right one, but now it says right there now. Okay, so now we have the right and the left. Okay, I'm happy. Let that one build. And late summer, I do need to end this episode soon, but I want to get into the next season. I want to get these going. Tell you what, let's just tell them this is going to be rye, but we're not going to work it yet. This is going to be beetroot. This is going to be beetroot. We're not going to work this yet, not going to work this yet. But as soon as we end this harvest, we'll do that. We'll delete these. We'll drop some footprints down in here, and we'll call this one done. We're thinking of 3 quick little episodes for the beginning of this series, but I have a really hard time with accomplishing anything under 40 minutes. I think I'm there now, aren't I? Alright, let's kick the speed up a little bit, because I do want to do a couple more things before we call this one done. We'll go up to 5. Let's see what's happening here. These are done. You know what? They will pick this up now that it's harvested. So let's kill this field. And we'll let them accomplish the job there. Once I kill this, they'll no longer have the orders to harvest. But with that, and the laborers are automatically picking these up, let's kill some roads in here. There, there, and there. Oops, one more. Okay, those will go away. Let's take this out too. And road. Move this over and into here. That'll be a natural split. I just don't know where it's going to end up going. Well, we do have, hold on, we do have these guys here. Alright, we'll keep that. We will cancel that and that. And we'll build that. Alright, so we'll see how that lines up, but in this space and in this space, so now we can cancel this one. Alright, so now we've got an open palette again. That's where the road's going to be, there. We don't need this one now because we don't know where this is going to actually go. I think the chickens are going to head out over here, and we'll see. I guess animals could be somewhere else, but not necessarily in that spot. But that was a quick patch to get the chickens a house before they died. We'll figure out where they're actually going to live later. We do need to get more housing out over here soon. But I want to get a school in. Tell you what, I'm going to leave that for Vaypah. Give him something to do to kind of get the basics of this colony going. And that'll give him a chance to decide where the school, if it's going to be decorated, if there's going to be a playground with it or that sort of thing, can go, as well as the church. and cemetery. So I'll send him a note saying those are the 3 goals we've got to accomplish next time. Let's do, though, let's just slow this back down again. Let's do set up a basic road system out here, though. So, let's see. I don't know where that ended, but let's shoot that across. And center of the field is there. That'll go there. Wintertime is so hard to see roads. That'll go there. And I believe it's here. Shoot that across. So we're going to need to get housing and storage out here. Have that housing there. Let's put just a basic layout real quick in here. What do we have in the way of a barn? Storage. So many choices now. What are you? You're a storage shed. I'm thinking that's probably this one. I'm going to go with the familiar one because we need a good quantity at this point. I really like it along that road, and it does fit. Ooh, it does fit. Yeah, we'll do that. Now the arrows I want to point toward town. So they're going to input the food from the, what would be our right side right now, and then out the left side toward town. So that's going to go there. And let's get a couple of just typical houses at the moment, because these guys, let me see here, housing, I know these guys will upgrade later. So let's put a couple of wood shacks in right there. So, because we don't have lumber at the moment. So let's do that. And out over here we'll do that. So that gets us basic housing. Citizens, looking pretty good. The age in that last house, there. Alright, yeah, we're definitely ready for a couple more houses. Though I'm going slow enough. I've only traveled one and a half years. So not super concerned there. Let's employ these guys. 1, 2, 3. Of course, when I do it in this order, it freaks them out. Where do I go? Where do I go? We'll do that. Okay. You guys are there. Pick up, pick up, pick up. You're going to store in the barn there. Yeah, that barn should have been down to the center, huh? Well, later we'll end another barn over here. And maybe another one over here, depending on where these lay out. So, yeah, that'll be fine for now. Got some housing available, which we already have 2 people who are confused on where they live. That is odd. That is odd. They are giving the housing to couples and leaving... No, that's not housing. These guys just don't have a place to work. Why is that? Oh, because the original 2, I didn't just give them new jobs. I added 2 more. Ah, okay. We're good there. Everybody's happy? Alright, so farming and a place for them to store and live, as well as probably Martha's house at the moment, I'm going to guess. That's her personality. She wants the opulent, luxurious. She wants to be in charge. I'm guessing that's her place right smack dab in the middle, but I may be wrong. We've got firewood, which we are hurting on, aren't we? So, stored fuel. We do need to get fire bundles going. At the moment, though, let's just do that. Because, oh, I see. We've been adding houses, so we are dumping firewood real quickly into houses that have been added. So that's what's happening there. 2 people making firewood for right now will be fine. Bridge just came in. That's right. That was my goal. I want the bridge to come in. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. And then bridge, let's see here. I failed to notice that last time. Bridge. Oh, it's not there now. Okay. There was a button here prior that had the ghost walls, if I recall right. It must be hiding out here in decoration somewhere. Is it obvious? If it's not, then I'll give it to Vaypah to find it. Yeah, we'll let Vaypah find this one. Okay, so ghost walls are going to go there, so that there wasn't an issue with rotating. Still have a little nub right there, but that will be fine. That'll be fine. It's amazing that we just have the ability to get through here. I am happy as can be. So a couple roads there, a couple of roads shooting off into there, just to let the others know that's where the map is heading at some point. And then it heads down here at some point, and it fires off into up there at some point. In fact, let's just put a couple of roads. Oh, yeah, something like that, just to give an indication that's where we're going. So this will eventually move later and maybe out in here, who knows what. So am I leaving this in a functional state? Food is up to 5,000 again. These guys have not had a full year, but they are rocking and rolling. Bridge is in. And let's let Vaypah know what is building. So set these guys out over here. Roads don't have any way to indicate it, and we are good. Alright, pause. Let's call this one done. Double time. Way longer than I should have, but that's just my way. And thank you guys for watching. This has been Noble Rambler. Head over to Vaypah Gaming, so YouTube/Vaypah Gaming to see episode 3, and again back to YouTube/NightGhost49 to see the previous episode. And then once this gets going, it'll be Night Ghost, then me, then Vaypah. We'll each grab 3 to 5 episodes each, really based upon finding a good, comfortable stopping point. So it may be 2 episodes, maybe 8 episodes, don't know. Whatever it turns into. So we're going to be real flexible with this. It's not concrete. Just go with the flow. And I can't wait to see episode 1 myself. I'm going to check right now to see if it's been uploaded. So with that, I say goodbye, and I'll catch you at episode 10-ish, I'm guessing. Bye-bye, folks.